Hello, welcome back to the channel, everyone. So today we're going to be going over the day 2 results of week 1 of Major 2 qualifiers. I didn't get to watch the first match with the Falcons and the Gentlemates. I was at work whenever that one went on. I plan on going back and watch that one because I'm really interested to see. It was a interesting day for CDL. It went almost like I thought it would. Not completely, but almost. So let's go ahead and switch views. So kicking the day off, you had Riyadh Falcons against the Paris Gentlemates, and they went 3-1. And I need to go back and watch this one because it looked like it was very interesting. So the first map, Colossus Hardpoint, 250 to 194. I mean, that's not bad. Gentlemates put up a real good fight, it looks like, on that one. Like I can't really say a whole lot on that because I didn't see that part, but that looks like it was quite interesting. But then Colossus Search and Destroy, which in the Major 1 tournament, Neptune was cooking on Colossus Search and Destroy in the Major 1 tournament. So I am willing to bet he was cooking on that one as well. But 6-2. That, it looks like it was just an utter devastation. Den Overload 4-3. That looks like that was probably a close game. And oh boy, the Scar Hardpoint 250 to 93. Ouch. Ouch. That one had to hurt. That one really had to hurt. But on to the next matchup, Optic Texas against G2 Minnesota. This one, I caught the latter half of it, and then from then on I saw the whole thing. But I went back this morning and watched the first part of it, and let's just say it was very interesting. So the Den Hardpoint, it was it was interesting to say the least. It started out, Minnesota was just absolutely destroying Optic. I mean, they were getting some points on the board, but not many. But then Optic picked up a little bit and was able to cover the difference just a little bit. But it just was not enough, and G2 ended up winning the Den Hardpoint. The Scar Search and Destroy. G2 won 5 rounds in a row before Optic even got one on the board. And then Optic won 4 rounds in a row. And then on the last one, it came down to a 1v1, and G2 Minnesota just had a slightly better timing and won it. It was epic. Scar Overload 3-1. It was just so good. I mean, Optic seems to be ruling in the Overload game mode. Absolutely ruling in it. Scar Hardpoint 250 to 221. It was a pretty close one. It was a pretty close game for that one. But then the Raid Search and Destroy. Oh boy, this was a nail biter. An absolute nail biter. It came down to round 11, and if I recall correctly, Dashy won the day. Dashy won the day. It was epic. It was so epic. It is the gameplay that you expect from Optic Texas. They ended up winning. But then FaZe Vegas versus Toronto Koi 3-0. Koi was just, they were totally underperforming. I mean, the Dent Overload, they did okay, but otherwise they were just underperforming. I mean, 250 to 153, Blackheart Hardpoint, Exposure Search and Destroy 6 to 1, Den Overload 5 to 3. Like I said, they were just underperforming, and the Codcasters were talking, and they may have some roster changes coming. Because that's like the 7th matchup in a row that they've lost, so they may have some changes coming to their roster. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. But then Los Angeles Thieves versus Vancouver Surge. I gotta say, we saw some signs of life from Vancouver Surge in this one. We saw some real signs of life, because they have been 0-9, but they won against Carolina Royal Ravens in the Major 1 tournament, and they got a victory there, but it was just, otherwise they have totally underperformed hugely. I mean, they're bottom of the league. But the first one, Scar Hardpoint, 250 to 241. Not bad at all. If I recall correctly, Los Angeles, the LA Thieves were down by like about 50 to 75 points, and they were sitting at 241. And it was nearly a victory for them. But then, I think it was Scrap, got on a big kill streak. And they ended up coming back and pulling out the win out from under Surge's feet. It was just, that was an epic gameplay from Surge and the LA Thieves. But LA Thieves had a roster change. They traded Kenny, and they got Neon. So the LA Thieves had a roster change, and it seems to have helped them. Colossus Search and Destroy. Vancouver Surge won the Search and Destroy. It was very interesting to watch. I mean, they were popping off. They were popping off some really good gameplays in that one. But then the Den Overload, 7 to 5. It's not bad. I mean, yeah, Surge lost, but I mean, again, we're finally seeing some signs of life from Surge. It's good to see, finally. Exposure Hardpoint, 250 to 136. It was a loss, yes, but like I say, we're seeing some signs of life from Surge. I expected the Thieves to come out on top of that. It's not a surprise, but like I say, we're finally seeing life from Surge. But yeah, but today we've got Gentlemates against the Heretics, Falcons against Boston Breach, LA Thieves against the Ravens, and G2 Minnesota against Cloud9. It's going to be really interesting to see some of these matchups. But yeah, I think that's all I got for y'all today. But I will catch y'all in my Day 3 results video later on tonight. And until then, y'all have a great day. I will see y'all in the next video.